you, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And I'm not going to cry.
I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry.
But that is a cry-worthy donation.
I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry.
Yeah, really is cool.
Thank you
Audrey, we love you
so much.
Thank you so much. And a big shout out to Audrey.
Big shout out.
All right. That's very cool.
Thank you so much.
I think we've showered Audrey W. with plenty of thanks. Very impressive. And Joy Branson with a $20 super sticker.
Big shout out.
Big shout out. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joy. What's that?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Oh, that's a Dan Ashley special. I hadn't heard that in a while. Very cool, Joy Branson. Thank you. And thank you, everybody. Are Kim and Mark related? Ask Cat Love Dreaming Peach. Not that we know of. We have to do maybe the
maybe like an
23andMe to figure it out, Albert.
Yeah.
What do you think? Maybe
I'm not sure. I don't
Ancestry something.
Yeah.
I think
Those
that
are
we're
popular
not related.
gifts this time of year.
That's right. Those are popular gifts. Diana says, "Hi, I'm new here. I just got off from work and saw this live talk chat." Well, welcome Diana.
Yeah.
The best is to come. We've got a real movie reviewer, and he doesn't just do movies. He does music, and he does art. He's an extraordinarily sophisticated guy. His sophistication knows no limits. He comes and goes on a rainbow. He's the brilliant writer and culture blaster. He's Michael Snyder, everybody.
Wow. Happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Chappy Chinooka, whatever you want to say about the holidays.
Right.
Happy Chinooka.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is that Smokey?
Smokey Robinson.
Oh, I'm glad he's so plugged into world culture.
Well,
like
I'm
that.
sure by now he's got it because that's pretty viral, the whole thing. But would you like to start by complaining about us putting you on so late, or would you like to just get right into
I have
things?
something else to complain about. Where are the mugs that say another classic Mark Thompson time waster? Come on.
No, how dare you?
No, I
How
mean,
dare you.
what's more attuned to time wasting than taking a sip of coffee? I mean, I'm having a delicious cup of the wonderful Coachella Valley coffee in a Mark Thompson mug right now.
That's true.
This
Yeah.
is
You
a
need to-
classic Mark Thompson time waster.
Anyway, it's Christmas time in Hollywood. I'm down here in L.A. for the holidays. It's where the palm trees are festooned with sparkly lights. Snow is just a special effect, and the shoppers are a little less frenzied than they are in, say, I don't know, Midtown Manhattan right now. The Grove is alight with all kinds of Christmas
the Grove
decorations.
Is the big
Really
mall there.
wonderful.
Yeah.
I just have one big question here. How is Santa Claus so jolly when he only comes once a year? I think that would get to me after a while.
Wow, that is you're really working.
I'm working blue.
What?
The late night room.
Yeah, it's not so much working green and red. I am working a little blue. But blue, of course, is one of the colors of Hanukkah. Anyway,
That was very inappropriate.
All right.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, we are so overloaded with movies to cover this weekend, and there are going to be more next week on Christmas Day, which we won't get to. We just don't have the time. But
All right. Just give us the top three and get out of here.
Wait, good luck on that. Okay, let's start with Mufasa, the Lion King.
Please tell me this is good, Michael.
It's a CGI animated family film from the Mouse Factory, Disney, and it tells the backstory of Simba, the Lion King's father, Mufasa, just in time for the holiday movie frenzy. In other words, it's something meant to entertain kids and their parents alike. It's an easy, wholesome movie choice for Christmas time that'll divert the children for 2 hours. And as such, it's a prequel for those of weak will because, what are you going to do with the family around Christmas except, take them to the theater and leave them there for a couple hours. Okay, so just a few weeks back, I bemoaned the fact that there was little memorable music in the Disney animated sequel, Moana 2, since Lin-Manuel Miranda, the songwriter behind the tunes in the original Moana, was not involved. Well, the reliable Manuel Miranda is on board with songs for Mufasa, none of which come close to the hit power of the Elton John numbers in The Lion King. So, again, another bit of a step down and unexpected because he's such a good writer. That said, This is kind of dazzling to look at. The computer animation is so good. You know what it looks like? It looks like National Geographic presents The Hunt for Singing Wildlife. I mean, look at these animals. They're singing their hearts out. It's all about young Mufasa separated from his parents and finding friends, a family, a life, and then coming up against a cruel pack of white lions who want to kind of rule the roost in some mystical part of Africa. And it's got
it's always the white lions, isn't it?
Yeah, Whitey's coming after
Whitey
these,
is
these
destroying
poor lions.
everything.
Speaking of
I feel
color,
you, brother. I feel
you know,
you.
it's Barry Jenkins directed this, the guy who directed
wow.
Moonlight, and as such.
An Academy Award winner, or at least nominee.
A lot of really talented black actors are voicing the animals. There's a few white outliers. I think there's a muskox named Elon. I think he's voiced.
Oh my God.
No, there isn't. Anyway, Aaron Pierre is the voice of young Mufasa. Kelvin Harrison Jr. is Taka, who is sort of an adopted brother. And, you know, things tend to get a little heated out there in the jungle. And you also have the return of such characters as Timon and Pumbaa. You know, you've got the old monkey who was sort of the guardian of young Simba. He's telling the story of Simba's father to everybody else. Donald Glover is on. I mean, there's a lot of talented people
wow,
here.
That's terrific.
But it's sort of clockwork stuff. I mean, you see where it's going to go. Rafiki is telling the story to the young lion cub who is the daughter of Simba and Nala. That's the idea. And Timon and Pumbaa are there, and they're doing their jokey jokes and what have you. I was very disturbed that John Oliver wasn't on board as the Zazu, the bird. They got somebody else to do it. He must have been busy trying to bring down the empire. I don't know what was happening there. But you know what? I give it a kind of tentative okay. It's family entertainment. It's just not anywhere
But it's
near
better than Moana 2.
I think that's
they're in the same. They're in the same.
Yeah, it's kind of a wash. But visually, you can't believe what technology has enabled.
I'm excited to actually see it for that reason, and also I'd like to see the white lions defeated. Is that what's going to happen, Michael?
Whitey goes down. No,
I like that.
There are some really talented people involved in this. You know, Beyonce shows up with a little voice work as Nala. You know how it works.
Yeah, no, I do.
They
I know
bring in the
big
names.
stars take all the work from the working class voiceover actors.
I can't
That's
hate on it, but I just wish it had been even closer to The Lion King, which I wasn't crazy about, but I did enjoy the original animated version.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's the king of all the animals in Africa, says Ray Levin. Who's the one who makes something? Simba the white lion is the one.
Simba the white lion, that's the original Osamu Tezuka Japanese animated TV series from back in the day that was basically pillaged by Disney for The Lion King, and I think there were some legal issues.
Great knowledge from Michael Snyder. That's what I talk about, the culture blaster.
Kimba is reimagined as Simba. Right. You know, I mean,
Kimba, that's right. It's Kimba, says Ray Levin.
They changed one letter, and basically, now it's a different thing, but not that different. Okay, let's move on. In more wholesome-ish entertainment, the third comedy adventure movie based on the Sega video game Sonic the Hedgehog is here. Okay, full disclosure regarding my Sonic bona fides. I am not a gamer. Right. Unless you count the handful of times I played Pong on my desktop as a youngster, the occasional arcade foray into eating ghosts with Ms. Pac-Man, which can now actually be played, by the way, via Google Doodle. You can play Ms. Pac-Man on your various devices. There was also a period when my pal Hugh Brown and I would go to a local arcade and play Circus, which was a game that featured a clown who would jump from a trapeze platform, and you'd have to try and catch him with a seesaw that would then hurl him back up to the trapeze platform. And if you missed, he would land on the big top floor in a sickening heap, and the machine would play taps. I'm not joking.
That's a great video game. But you're not, apart from that, you're saying you're not a video game guy.
No. By the way, we nicknamed Circus Clown Death. We thought it was more appropriate. Anyway.
Sonic 3, Michael. Can we get back to the review? Okay, I love hearing what you and your little buddy did.
I want to emphasize my lukewarm reaction to all three Sonic movies is baked into my general disinterest in the source material.
I see. Okay.
That said, these films, which feature Ben Schwartz as the voice of the snarky blue CGI alien hedgehog with super speed and other weird powers, and on the live action front, James Marsden as his human best buddy, and Jim Carrey clowning around as Sonic's arch enemy, the mad scientist, Dr. Ivo Robotnik. They're definitely energetic, or more precisely, frenetic eye-bogglers with a few funny bits here and there. And in this third installment, Sonic and his cutesy otherworldly comrades, Knuckles and Tails, from the previous iterations, are pitted against another of their ilk, the dangerously angry Shadow, who was essentially Sonic's dark doppelganger. I don't want to get into the details, but for the record, there is some serious star power voicing two of these creatures, with Idris Elba as Knuckles and, whoa, Keanu Reeves is Shadow? Yes, he is. John Wick has been reduced to a Sonic doppelganger. Colleen O'Shaughnessy, not a household name, is the voice of Tails, but Elba and Reeves, big time. Jim Carrey plays two roles, the mad scientist and his grandfather. There's a lot of action here. It's coming at you fast and furious. And I was like, yeah, if you're into this thing, I guess you're going to like it. But I wasn't wacko crazy about it. It did have a few laughs. And again, like Mufasa, it is in wide release in theaters this weekend, which means, the kids have something to do. And I guess that's kind of a cool thing at this time of the year.
So it was so-so.
So-so.
Okay.
By the way, Kristen Ritter and Adam Pally, who are pretty well known from TV and film projects, are on board in this thing.
What else do you have for us,
All
Michael?
right, let's move on to The Brutalist, one of the best movies of the year. Finally, I
Wow.
can say, oh my God, this is a sprawling epic about a brilliant Jewish architect from Eastern Europe who survives the Holocaust, escapes to America, and hopes to build his masterpiece with the financial aid of a wealthy industrialist. Let me be frank here. It's 3.5 hours long.
Oh, my God.
And it is magnificent from
Really?
beginning to end, with bravura performances from Adrian Brody. This is Oscar bait stuff. He'll get a
Wow.
nomination for sure.
When you're sitting in a 3.5-hour screening room, you and the other critics.
We were at I was actually at a 70 millimeter big time theater, and it was stunning. So Brody plays the driven architect, whose name is Laszlo Toth,
Oh, wow.
which is actually a name that was used by Father Guido Sarducci.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's an imaginary guy. But I'm sure there must have been people like this back in the 40s in Eastern Europe. Felicity Jones plays his wife, whose experience as a captive of the Nazis leave her damaged but undaunted. There's a niece involved, and one of the things that Laszlo tries to do is to get the wife and niece to America, and it's not going to be easy because immigration was, rather tight post-war. And Alessandro Nivola plays Toth's assimilating cousin who came to America before the war, settled in Philadelphia, created a successful furniture business, and married an American, and offers Toth a gig when he gets here. And Guy Pearce, who also should get some Oscar love, as a rich Pennsylvanian named Harrison Lee Van Buren. And he's the guy who taps Toth to design and oversee the construction of a suburban town hall and chapel that will serve as a kind of monument to the donor's generosity and to the architect's genius. The art direction here is stunning. There is grandeur throughout. It's in lots of ways, it's about the immigrant experience. And in other ways, it addresses the Holocaust, it addresses greed and capitalism run wild. There is no excess, despite the length of the movie. Brody gives perhaps the best performance of his already decorated career. It's filled with soul and passion and torment and regret. With The Brutalist, director and co-screenwriter Brady Corbett, who has worked as a supporting actor in some well-regarded indie movies and TV, establishes himself as one of the truly significant filmmakers working today. Pretty remarkable, since it's his third stab at making a feature film, one of which was Vox Lux, which was about an enigmatic Lady Gaga-style pop star played by Natalie Portman. That showed promise, but The Brutalist is a quantum leap beyond that. It is fantastic. It is in theaters, select theaters, I might add, and hope that it opens wider in the new year. Really.
Wow, you really like it.
Phenomenal.
The Brutalist, it's called. All right.
I'm going to bang through some stuff really quick.
Start banging, baby.
The prolific, provocative Spanish writer-director Pedro Almodovar, who brought us Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown, Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down, Parallel Mothers, Pain and Glory. He has delivered his first full-length English language feature film, The Room Next Door. and it's a sometimes moving two-hander about euthanasia and general end-of-life issues that has the distinct advantage of Julianne Moore and Tilda Swinton as its dual leads. Yeah, Almodovar did recently craft and release Strange Way of Life, which was an offbeat Western in English with Ethan Hawke and Pedro Pascal as a couple of cowboys in a complicated relationship. But it was a short film. The Room Next Door is a full-length hour and 47 minutes, and you feel it in both good and bad ways. Since English is a second language for Almodovar, some of the dialogue comes off a bit stilted, despite the skills of Moore and Swinton, who deliver their lines with their usual panache. It's a thorny story. Swinton's character, Martha, is a New York-based war reporter dealing with cancer that has been in remission but has come roaring back. So things are terminal, and she wants to depart the world on her own terms at a cushy rental in a lush wooded area upstate, and she requests that her novelist friend Ingrid, played by Moore, be there in the room next door to take care of the aftermath of the suicide. The friend is reluctant but can't refuse the request. The topic really kind of resonates. The actresses are on point, assuring the drama is going to have the proper emotional weight. And the vibrant look of the movie is pure Pedro. I mean, this is the way his movies look. They're incredibly colorful and vivid. Ultimately, the drama works. And for added value, John Turturro is on board as a man with a deep and abiding ties to both women. And what's this? Alessandro Nivola, so good in The Brutalist, is here as a policeman. The Room Next Door is not my favorite Almodovar. It has little of the wry humor or the kind of rollicking sexuality of his best work, but it is a good, serious examination of morality and friendship in an untenable situation. It is in select theaters, and I'm sure it's going to open wider again in the new year.
What was your favorite Almodovar? You said this isn't my favorite.
God, probably Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down.
No, I didn't see that. I saw Talk to Her.
Oh, that's also quite
God,
good.
that was great.
And his recent stuff with Penelope Cruz, quite good. Okay, here's a treat. I got to get to this because you can just go and watch it on Netflix. And we don't talk that much about holiday movies this year, and I really want to address this. In Carry On, that's right, as in Carry On Luggage. It's Christmas Eve at the airport, and young TSA agent Ethan Kopech, played by Taron Egerton of Kingsman and Rocketman, has put aside his dreams of being a cop and has settled on working airport security. You know, it's business as usual, albeit with the added burden of many short-tempered holiday passengers, until Ethan is confronted by a fiendishly clever anonymous traveler who tries to manipulate him into allowing a package to get through the X-ray machine and onto a flight. So Carry On is essentially Die Hard TSA.
Oh, that's
I loved
wild.
it. It was good.
Oh, you saw
it's
it.
really good. We didn't have time last week to get to it, Kim. I'm so glad you watched it and enjoyed it. It is so much fun. So compounding the situation. No, go ahead.
I was going to say it was totally unexpected. We just clicked on it. My husband and I had no kids for the night, so we watched it, and it was exactly like you could see they were trying to do like a Christmas themed Die Hard-ish movie.
Yeah,
and it was kind of original, and it was full of twists and turns, and
it's just so much fun. So compounding things, the Traveler is played in a very surprising villain turn by Jason Bateman. I mean, you know him from Ozark, which is sort of a dark, a dark thing. But
he plays a bad guy here.
He generally plays kind of a good guy. And this guy knows a lot about Kopech and his significant other, who is a lovely woman who works for the airline that's being targeted and is in the airport and thus a potential victim of the ministrations of the bad guys. It gets a little outlandish, and there are a couple of plot holes you could fly a 747 through. But as entertaining thrillers go, especially ones with top-notch actors giving their all as adversaries, Carry On is the ticket.
It's on Netflix because Kurt is asking, how did you see it so soon at home, Kim? Because it is streamable at home. It's on Netflix. Carry On.
Directed by Jaume Collet-Serra, who is damn good at action movies. It never lets up, and it is a Netflix exclusive. And it would have played very well in theaters, but what the hell, man? Just tune on in. Quickies, Day of the Fight. Actor and legacy Hollywood kid Jack Houston has written and directed Day of the Fight, which is a very lean and moving movie about the hours preceding an ex-championship boxer's first professional fight since getting out of prison. The setting appears to be like the 90s in New York City, and Mikey, aka Irish Mike, is played in appropriately tough and tender fashion by Michael C. Pitt. Fantastic work. Still haunted by the events that landed him in prison and took him away from his partner Jessica and their young daughter. And he has one shot at redemption, which is about versus the current middleweight champ.
That sounds good.
At
Day of the
MSG.
fight. Where is that being shown?
It is in theaters at the moment, and again, it's select theaters, but it's going to be such a great watch at home. And I want to say quickly, the black and white cinematography is beautiful. Kind of echoes Martin Scorsese's all-time classic boxing film, Raging Bull.
Oh, of course.
The actors are excellent, starting with Pitt as Mikey and Nicolette Robinson as Jessica. And you also get rugged old hands Steve Buscemi, Ron Perlman, and one of Scorsese's favorites, Joe Pesci. This thing hits hard and sweet and sad. Day of the fight. Again, it's in limited release in theaters.
Who directed it?
Jack Huston, part of the Huston family, a pretty damn good actor.
Wow.
He's been in a variety of...
Huston as in John Huston?
Yes, and
Wow.
Angelica Huston. Yeah, he's part of the family.
So that's would be the grandson of John Huston?
I believe so.
Okay. Michael.
Nephew, I
Working
don't
on
know.
my,
Okay.
John Huston impression. Okay, go ahead.
Nicely
Yeah.
done. We're running out of time. Maybe I can elaborate down the road, but there's a new Wallace and Gromit from the Aardman Animations people. It's distinctly British in tone and whimsy. These are the guys that have done Chicken Run and Shaun the Sheep.
These guys are great.
Wallace and Gromit, all rendered in glorious stop motion. When they have gone afield from those three franchises, pretty forgettable, but I am happy to report that Aardman and mainstay director Nick Park have brought back the cheerfully wacky, working-class, Yorkshire-dwelling inventor Wallace and his plucky dog Gromit for another go-round, pitting them against an old enemy, a criminal penguin that they thwarted in an earlier movie. Wallace is wrapped up in his latest invention, a mechanical gnome that can be an automated gardener, and the long-suffering, ever-stoic Gromit is a little neglected, but the penguin, incarcerated at a local zoo, plots his revenge with a plan that involves the robotic gnome. Our human and canine heroes are so lovable. Wallace's Rube Goldberg-like inventions are hilarious. The animation is as splendid as usual, and it is in theaters right now, limited release, but it will be streaming on January 3rd on Netflix.
I love it. And let me just ask you a question, Michael,
Sure.
because you are the culture blaster.
I am.
And I need you to blast me with a fact.
Yes, sir.
When you say it's stop motion, so there's literally a camera there and it's capturing frame to frame, and then manually, that is with hands, you have to move the characters a little bit each time, and then they take another frame of it and then another frame of it. Is that correct?
Yes. And,
So there's no workaround technologically on that now?
They may do some computer enhancement, but that is the procedure. And it's also, you remember it from Gumby.
No, I know. I mean, it's just incredible.
The Puppetoons, George Powell's Puppetoons back in the 30s and 40s, basically blazed
I don't
this
know what you're
trail.
talking about.
Oh my God, you should look it up. Just type in Puppetoons on Google.
No, well, you're so
Stunning.
literate on this. That's why you're the culture blaster.
Leica up in the Pacific Northwest does it. They've done a number of wonderful films in stop motion.
So I can't wait till this.
they're great.
Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance, Most Foul.
Yes, Vengeance Most Foul. Terrific stuff. One more quick note before we go. I know time
please
is
hurry,
short.
Michael,
Time
because
is
you're
short.
taking time.
Because,
We're all on
members
a limited time.
Members of the Mark Thompson Show audience have asked about this, and I feel that I got to bring it up, particularly because it has a Christmas setting, and it's Black Doves, a taut and twisty
Yes.
6-episode miniseries on Netflix.
People have brought it up here. Black Doves.
Oh
yes.
my God. This, even though it's set at Christmas, it's going to do plenty to dispel that peace on earth and goodwill to all vibe. It is late December in present-day London with the usual Yuletide decor, and Helen Webb, the attractive wife of a prominent UK politician, is dealing with some issues. Her lover has been killed along with 2 other people at the beginning of the series, and she, in fact, works for an agency called the Black Doves, and this agency is a covert organization that acquires and sells classified information to the highest bidder, and there's the Chinese ambassador who ostensibly commits suicide. There's a local gang that's trying to kind of jockey for control and position. It's really wonderful. And believe it or not, Keira Knightley plays Helen Webb, the central character here, and she is matched in her skill set and her magnetism by the great Ben Whishaw as her closest friend in the Black Doves, who has left to become an assassin and is pulled back in by these 3 murders. I don't want to get into any more detail, but it's wonderful stuff, and it's 6 hours, 6 episodes, bang, bang, bang.
And it takes place at Christmas time?
Yes, it does.
Wow,
So
that's good.
Someone did this to spoil our Christmas.
Well,
They do.
It does sound pretty intriguing.
I had to get it out there because I know people have asked about it. And you can read about the show in the current column that I have posted at The Voice of San Francisco. That's voicesf.org. Again, Black Doves, read the piece, watch the show.
voicesf.org. TheVoiceSF.org is what it is. TheVoiceSF.org. If you want to read the Culture Blaster, I don't mean this to sound disparaging, although I know it is going to sound disparaging.
Of course,
but I think your writing is sine qua non. What does that mean, sine qua non?
But beyond any comparison.
Exactly.
I
That's
don't
exactly what
speak the
sine qua
Latin.
non means.
I don't
And
speak the Latin, but
you are a brilliant writer, and I encourage people to check you out. TheVoicesF.org. TheVoicesF.org. So Black Doves, the Keira Knightley offering, the Culture Blaster really likes it. Thinks it's a great way to ruin your Christmas.
Someone did this to spoil our Christmas.
Or Chinooka, if that's
Happy Chinooka.
Yeah. So the other thing you really like, I will get to. You really like the Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Foul film.
that's FOWL, people.
Yeah. That is something coming to Netflix January 3rd, although it's in select theaters now,
Yes.
you point out.
Yes.
It's a real winner. He really likes it. And he likes Day of the Fight, the lean film about the pre-flight hours of an ex-convict who has to achieve legitimacy and find the way forward after getting out of the joint.
He wants to settle things with the people he loves.
God, I love that. Day of the Fight. He likes it. Carry On is the film you can also see right now on Netflix. Features Taron Egerton and Jason Bateman as the bad guy. And Michael says, sure, there are a couple of holes in the script.
Yeah, stretches. You're going to have to stretch your
But
belief.
he says it's a fun watch.
Oh,
Damn it.
so much fun. And Kim agrees, and when Kim and I agree, it's a must-see.
It is really something special. So it's called Carry On. The Room Next Door is Tilda Swinton, Julianne Moore. It's the Pedro Almodovar directed offering. And Michael says it takes on some pretty heavy topics. The script a little janky at times, but in general, these two great performers are worth seeing in this, is what I got from you.
Particularly under the guidance of this masterful director who, again, it's English as a second language, and it's his first full-length English language
It
feature.
deals with one of the characters has cancer.
Yeah, it's an end-of-life issues, and, it's powerful.
My
And
God.
I'm not gonna cry.
it's the perfect
I'm gonna
tonic
cry.
for Christmas.
Yeah, great. All right. That is The Room Next Door, and it's in theaters.
Select theaters.
The Brutalist, one of the best films of the year.
What?
I know, that's
Unquestionable.
what he said. The Brutalist
Unquestionable.
is about immigrants to the U.S., and it's a grand film. It's the discussion of both the immigrant experience and also greed, and it sounds to me like there's a lot going on here. It's very intriguing, mostly because you like it so much. Adrian Brody is in it. It's called The Brutalist, and it is in theaters now. Now, there's one thing about The Brutalist. As I recall, is this the one that's 3.5 hours?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it
and
is.
now I know why they call it The Brutalist.
I
Yeah.
think I recommend you get one of those large popcorn buckets,
It's
each of
effing
popcorn.
brutal to sit through a 3.5-hour movie. That's why I
Nice.
call it The Brutalist.
Really nice. Hey, you're just lucky I didn't get into any detail about The Count of Monte Cristo, the new French film based on Dumas, 3 hours long.
Well,
this seems to be a trend.
The book, The Count of Monte Cristo, was like 1,200 pages. I'm not surprised.
They
All right.
did a beautiful job. We'll talk about it next time.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Do you need to have seen Sonic 1 and 2 to appreciate Sonic 3, Michael?
I really believe it's necessary for you to just leave your brains at home to appreciate Sonic 3.
He says there are performances from Jim Carrey and a bunch of other high-profile people. Michael, not a video game guy per se. You know what I mean when I say per se, Michael?
Sure,
that doesn't
sure.
throw you in any
I'm
way.
not going to translate that
Okay,
Latin.
but the point is, he says Sonic 3 is meh. It's just, that's what I got from you.
For
It's
what
meh.
it is, it's fine. It's just not my cup of meat.
Okay, and
Not my cup of nog.
Mufasa, the Lion King, is where we started. And Mufasa, the Lion King, is a triumph of computer-generated action. Michael says it's positively awe-inspiring, the way you see these creatures come to life, and they're all computer-generated. And yet, somehow, it didn't quite land with you in a big, big way. Even though the music is better than Moana 2, where you saw just a flat kind of nothing memorable kind of musical offering. Here, they bring back Miranda, right?
Well, no, he didn't do the original. The music is better than Moana 2 because it's Miranda, but the music's inferior to the Lion King music by Elton John, where you're going like, in fact, they reprise a little bit of the Hakuna Mufasa.
Yeah.
You get that in there, but the new songs are like, yeah, it's okay.
Wow.
You know, you know what? It's pretty pedestrian for all of the, hero's journey stuff.
Well, it might be good for the holidays, though.
Yes, and it's gorgeous. Like I said, I thought I was watching an National Geographic documentary. I was like, wow.
Well, I'm excited about seeing anything in this great country that is computer generated.
God bless America.
That's right.
The end.
Yeah,
God's sake.
exactly. It's pretty great. All right, Michael, thank you for these holiday offerings. We are off for the holidays, so you won't be with us next Friday, but you've really given us a lot to think about and chew on, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah,
Why are you?
Happy Chanukah.
Yeah, happy
so many
Chanukah
good
to
things
you.
are coming out on. Well, not one of the other best movies of the year, A Complete Unknown, is dropping on Christmas Day. I guess we'll get to it when we get.
Well,
to it.
what is that?
It's the great Dylan biopic that is again one of the.
Oh,
top
sure, with
films of the year.
Timothy Chalamet.
Chalamet, I always make jokes about the callow fellow, and he gives a magnificent performance.
Callow's
here
a
as
ding
Dylan.
word.
Oh my God, he's so good. It's coming up on Christmas Day, and it's just a stunner.
I'm sorry we didn't have more time for you.
No,
we
don't
did give you a half hour, which is a pretty long period of time. Wouldn't you
Dude,
say, Kim?
it was
I don't think he's got a.
It was a
word to-
holiday miracle that we even got through as much as we did.
Yes, exactly. All right,
Michael
good. As long-
Snyder will be joining us for the holiday meetup tomorrow.
Yes, he will.
I will.
He's going to bring his little offbeat brand of humor to our hookup tomorrow, which is going to be great. Holiday hookup is what I should have called it instead of meetup.
Call it what you will.
Happy holidays, Michael, says Ren. You're beloved by so many. Thanks, Mr. Snyder, says Kurt. Wow, look at you. Thank you, says Tammy.
We have the best audience in all of the internet, my friend.
This audience is amazing. Pretty terrific. Michael, have a great holiday. He comes and goes on a rainbow. How about it for the Culture Blaster, Michael Snyder?
Merry and happy to all.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell, you'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.